Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I am back with the final reaction of the Ultimatum episode 9 and 10, which is the final episode, the finale and the reunion. Y'all, let's get right into it. So during the finale, I'm just going to highlight certain events. I'm not going to talk about the entire episode because this will be too long. So JR and Sandy met up and they had like a final discussion about their experience, and JR let her know that he feels comfortable about his decision and where he stands, and the same thing, she said the same thing. And I find it really odd how they both had the same outfit and it seems like they were matching. But yeah, that's where that's the first highlight that I wanted to highlight. And then we got to decision. JR met up with Zaina, and y'all, for a second, we thought he was really going to propose to her because he kept saying all these nice things. He complimented her, complimented the relationship, things he had learned from this experience and all of that. And then at the end, he was pretty much saying that he doesn't feel like he's ready, so he can't really give her what she wants, which is, of course, he cannot propose to her. And I feel like if he would have proposed to Zaina, she would have said yes. But in the reunion, she did said that she felt that she felt the same way that he felt, that he wasn't ready. And I'm saying to myself, if you feel like this man wasn't ready, why even bring him on the show? You spent 3 years with this man, wasted 3 years just to throw everything down the drain. But anyways, and then fast forward to Scotty and Arya. I'm not doing them in order, by the way. Scotty and Arya, and they got engaged. I was happy for them, to be honest, because I feel like, yes, even though Scotty has some issues, he seemed like he could be a narcissist. He is controlling and things like that. But I feel like those are things that they could possibly go to therapy and work with, because Arya is no saint either. Arya got some issues. Listen, the way Arya came off at the reunion, we're going to talk about that, but Arya got some issues too. So at this point, I feel like Arya and Scotty deserves each other because they come off giving the same energy. They're just the same people in two different bodies. That's how I feel. But she said yes, they got engaged, which I was happy for at that moment. Because I thought maybe off the show, they were going to go to therapy and try to put the work that it needs for the relationship to thrive. But apparently that didn't happen. So we're going to talk about that. And then Caleb and Mariah, I was so happy for them because it felt like it was the world versus them. Meaning, like, they were out of the four couples that went through this experience to the end, Caleb and Mariah were the youngest ones. They were the most mature ones. They just handle everything so maturely, and so they put so much respect and honor in their relationship, and they really put the work that it needs. Obviously, they're not perfect. They still have work to do, especially Mariah. I feel like she still has a whole lot of work to do, but I feel like they put the most work out of all the couples to make their relationship get to where it's at right now. So they, of course, got engaged, and they still engaged. We're going to get into that. Then we got to Nick and Sandy. Nick and Sandy, of course, we all knew they weren't going to make it. But Nick was just, first he started off as, stop complimenting her, telling her how he loved her so much, what the relationship means to them. The typical Nick thing that he was doing through the entire season, just love bombing her. And then as he was trying to reach in his pocket, seemed like he was trying to reach for the ring. And, she looked a certain way, like kind of weird looking, like, what are you doing? Like, we're not doing this. So he kind of got the vibe from that. And then what he did said in the reunion that he wasn't sure, he wasn't going to do that. He was just reaching in his pocket for something, but I think he was lying. I think he really wanted to propose to her. He probably think he could just manipulate her to say yes and then just be toxic like he's always been in this entire season. But obviously they did not. He seemed so hurt because she kept reaffirming him, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but we're just not there yet. We're just not there. And that was it. Obviously they didn't they didn't make it. So at the end, like only one couple made it to this entire this entire season. We had 6 couples. Only one couple made it. The rest of them, of course, we know Vanessa and Dave, they left. Micah and Chanel, they left. So the two couples that left, they still together. But the other ones that made it to the end, they're single. They went their separate ways. None of them are still together. They went their separate ways. So now let's get into the reunion. We're going to make this real quick because I don't want this episode to be too long. But y'all, the reunion, we got to the reunion. A lot of people didn't like how they released both the finale and the reunion together. But I loved it because I'm like, I don't want to wait. I want to find out who's still together, who's not. And then, we got to the reunion. And the reunion, I'm just going to like talk about couples, right? Let's talk about Caleb and Mariah. Obviously, they're still together. They're planning to get married sometime in the summer next year. They're planning. They're looking at venues. They're looking at wedding arrangement. That's what they're doing right now. That's the season that they're in. And they share like a couple of like videos of what they've been doing for the past year. They're beautiful. I love their relationship and I really hope they make it. I really hope they go to therapy. I really hope they have some mentors around them to help them, just mature in the relationship. And then we have Aria and Scotty. I was surprised, yo. I was surprised. Aria and Scotty, I was really surprised because I thought they didn't really have serious relationships. You know what I mean? He was just saying that he doesn't feel seen. He doesn't feel heard by her. And then she was also complaining about the things that she's lacking from him. One being that they live in separate cities and they don't really get to see each other as much. He had made that sacrifice. He moved in the same city with her. They lived in at one point together. And it just seems like he's not doing enough for her. So apparently they're not together anymore. She went through some tragic situations. She lost her grandma, and she said she also had a miscarriage, which I really sympathize with her in that sense. But I feel like she was just doing victim. She was just being a victim the entire time. She did not take responsibility for any part that she played with them not being together anymore. And I feel like you cannot be 100% right. As a man or woman, that one person cannot be 100% right? You had to be lacking in some area in the relationship that's also affecting the relationship. For the relationship to not work, it's not just what Scotty is not doing for her. What are you doing for Scotty? How are you meeting his needs? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like she was just pointing blames, not taking responsibility for whatever happened. So I didn't like that. And then also let's get into how she came with receipts, right? She came with this bitter black bitter woman mentality. Don't get me wrong, right? At one point, Aria was one of my favorite, right? I loved Aria. I was like, okay, we have this black girl who's beautiful. She can dress. She carried herself well. She, like everything looked so well put together about her. And, I just loved her. And then we got to the reunion. She just came off so hard on like Caleb and Mariah. She said that he was snooping through her stories on Instagram. He was stalking her on Instagram, liking pictures. And I'm just like, is that your receipts? Receipts of him looking at your stories? That's receipts. You don't have a receipt of this man in your apartment. You don't have a receipt of this man sleeping with you. You don't have a receipt of this man physically cheating on Mariah with another woman or with you. You don't have a receipt of y'all going out, y'all going to a restaurant, y'all doing things that you're not supposed to be doing. But you got a receipt of him liking your story. You got receipts of him looking at your story. Like, really? Your page is public. Like, we all do that. Everyone look at everyone's story. And that's that just shows how very insecure that she is. And then it also shows that the fact that her relationship didn't work with Scotty, she was going to do whatever it takes to jeopardize Caleb and Mariah's relationship. But obviously it didn't work because it came up. She is getting so much flag on social media, because you just came off with the energy. Like, it just was not given. Like, we were all a fan of her until she came at Caleb and Mariah like that. And don't get me wrong, even if Caleb did have this emotional connection, I personally didn't see any emotional connection. I saw a man who is loving, caring, respectful, and was being nice and doing nice gestures for a woman. That's what I saw. I didn't see a man that had emotional connection, a man that feels like, oh, he can't do anything without this woman, or a man that feels like if his real relationship doesn't work, he has this other woman who he can possibly work out with. It was not given that. I said this in multiple reactions that I feel like Arya is not Caleb's type, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think Caleb is racist at all. I just feel like he's just not used to dating women that look like her, and she is not his type. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I just didn't see where that energy was coming from. So I felt like that was so uncalled for, the way she just came at him. So yeah. Now let's get to JR and Zaina. I think I said this before and I'll say it again. JR came on the show to be an influencer. We all know that by now, because the man said he wanted to have kids. He said in an episode with Sandy that he wanted to have kids at 40, and this man is 33 now. That means Zaina brought him on the show for They came together and made the decision, hey, let's go on the show so we can get our finances up, we can get our influence up. That's what it seems like. Because in the very first episode, she said that she brought him on the show so she can get clarity on the relationship so they can get married and start having kids, which was one of the reasons why she froze her eggs. And now obvious that this man doesn't want to have kids until he's in his 40s. So their stories are not making sense. It does not align. So that tells me that these people came together because Zaina did release a video on her TikTok, is there right now, where she said that right before going on the show, JR was transitioning from his corporate America job to being a full-time fitness coach, and his finances was looking funny. So that tells me your finances started looking funny because you was transitioning jobs. You was like, okay, let's go on the ultimatum. Y'all came together and said, let's go on the ultimatum so we can get this money up and get the influence up. That's what it seems like to me, because throughout this entire season, he was not respecting Zaina. He did not think about Zaina with all the things, all the disrespectful things that he was doing with Sandy, the whole kissing and all of that. They both said they didn't have sex. I don't believe that. I still think they did. But there was not one time he considered Zaina's feelings or anything like that. He straight up disrespected this woman. Even at the reunion, he did not show any sign. He didn't say anything that shows that he loved her or even love or care for her. He did not care about this woman. So Zaina, I just want every single person that watched this to just learn from Zaina, because Zaina is a beautiful woman. She's educated, beautiful, got her life going on, and she just got so like trapped with this man, like, and wasted 3 years of her life. 3 years of her life when she could possibly be married by now and have children with another man who will value, respect, and love her. And, she just wasted her time. So I just hope that we learn from them. And I don't think JR would be ready for marriage anytime soon, especially after the show now. He got the influence. He got there's so many engagements. He's getting engagement, he's getting influence, getting likes, getting views. His money is going up, his content creation is improving. So this man is not ready for that. And trust me, there are women out there that don't care what's going on or what type of man he is. They just want to be with him. They just want to attach themselves to him so they can also get some clout. So that's how I feel about JR and Zaina. And now let's go to, we did have Vanessa. Vanessa and Dave came because out of the two couples that left, Micah and Chanel declined coming to the reunion. So Vanessa and Dave came. They gave their side of the story. Vanessa said that when she got together with Nick, she noticed that Nick was being abusive towards alcohol, which was something he had previously struggle with. So he was still struggling with it, and then he was abusing it on set. And she said that his behavior was just off. He was being rude. He was doing things that she just was not going to put up with, which was one of the reasons why she left. And I respect them so much for coming, because Chanel and Micah did not show up. And I felt like they just left the people hanging, even though they were only on the show for like 2 seconds. But then these people, both of them, are creating content around the show on TikTok just to get views, just to get clout. Because if you were on the show for only a few seconds, right, and you decline to come on the show, that means you're trying to completely detach yourself from the show. Why are you creating content around the show? Because you want clout. Now you want validation from the audience. Now you want likes, views from people, but you refuse to give people closure. You refuse to come on the show and tell people what really had happened. So I give no respect or kudos to Micah and Chanel. They get no respect to me, from me, honestly, because I really don't really care for them at this point. So and then we got to Nick and Sandy. Of course, Nick and Sandy, they're not together anymore. Nick saw everything that had happened while he was watching it with us. He saw that I guess Sandy wasn't Sandy. He saw a different side of her, and Sandy was being rude and disrespectful, did not honor their relationship, doing some things. They both lied. Her and JR, they lied that they only kissed twice. Obviously, they kissed multiple times, and I still think they smashed, but they lying. But Nick and Zaina talked about the things that they saw from their partner that were just lies that they told them. Example, JR lied to Zaina that they only kissed twice, and they kissed multiple times on the show. And then also Sandy went to Zaina doing the girls meetup and told Zaina, oh, we're only getting to know each other. We're making sure we're just helping the other person to be a better person for the other person. We're not hooking up. We're not doing anything. Came to find out that was all a lie. And Zaina was just like, I didn't ask for that information. Why would you come and tell me something like that? And then it's a lie. So I respect Zaina for just expressing herself with Sandy. And then, but I feel like Sandy owe her an apology, or should have apologized. But of course she didn't. Typical Sandy. She did not apologize. She's just full of herself. And her and JR, I feel like they deserve each other. They should be together, because they just both people, they're full of themselves. And at the end of the day, I did feel like Zaina was like JR. She was just full of herself in the relationship. But as they show their trial relationship, it shows that Zaina is the one that's mostly put in the work in their relationship, and she should just let it go. And I'm proud of her for letting it go, because JR does not deserve her. She's so beautiful. She's so like hardworking. She's like, come on, we see this girl and she's fit. She prioritized her looks. And, you know, I just feel like her being with the right person, she's going to appreciate life. She's going to be happy. She's going to, you know, it's just, she's got to do what she got to do away from that man. She just moved. The fact that they moved out of their apartment and moved across the street from each other, I thought that was so crazy. And I don't know. I just feel like, even though the show is over, I just feel like she's probably still in contact with JR. JR probably has some kind of strong hold on this girl. Or his pipe game probably strong. Maybe he can throw it down. That's probably why she's still entertaining this man. But yeah, that's all I had to say about the reunion. Out of all the people, Aria was the one that pissed me off the most. But yeah, so I hope, you know, that the audience learned the valuable lessons from all of these people. And yeah, so I'll see you guys on our next show and on our next reaction. I will be doing, of course, pop culture reactions. So thank you guys so much for all the supports on the shorts and everything. On TikTok too. We are actually on TikTok. We're going pretty fast. The TikTok name is the same as the YouTube channel, Mimi React 35. So follow me on TikTok, interact with me, support me. I appreciate all of you guys that have that support. And guys, I know we're a new channel. Please subscribe if you like the content. Please subscribe, like, and share the content if you want to share it with your friends. I truly appreciate it, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye bye.